Yo, this is Miss Wanda.
My name is Roosevelt. Mayor's here, director, film producer, and screenwriter.
My name is Winie, and you are listening to the Sweet Podcast.
What's up, everyone? My name is Wanda, and welcome to another episode of the Sweet Podcast. As usual, thank you so much, everyone that's been tuning in, liking, sharing, commenting, and making sure we are supported like you guys always do. So the Sweet Podcast, if this is your first time tuning in, we are powered by your favorite Haitian diaspora platform, L'Union Suite, where we are redefining the narrative of Haiti and Haitians every day. We are able to put together this podcast with the support of, readers, our fans, our followers, and most importantly, the fabulous guys of Silver Slate Studios and Plantation. Dumi, what will we do without you? So thank you guys once again for tuning in. I have, to me, what I think is a very special episode because this is an interview I've been wanting to do for a while, but anytime you say TPS, and Haitians hear that, you get one or two things. People tune out, and they're like, oh, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Or you have a lot of people that's like, oh, my God, do you have more information? So if this is your first time tuning in, if this is your first time hearing about TPS, I am going to do my best to give you some background on TPS, which stands for Temporary Protected Status. So last year about this time is the first time, I would say, I started taking TPS serious. Had known about it, knew people that was on it, but didn't really understand what it meant, as far as status in the U.S. Then, the administrative said they were ending it. Haitians freaked out. People freaked out because it's not just Haitians that's on TPS. And at that moment, a lot of people were asking us, to share information, share updates. How can we help? There was massive protests in Miami. Marlene Basta and her group was like, we have to stop this. So at that point, it was like, what is this? What can we do? What information do I even have to provide? So we did a TPS forum with 5 attorneys and one that was actually working at the White House, Karen Andre, to answer questions and help Haitians that had questions but was afraid to reach out. Because, of course, at that time, people figured, if I'm on TPS, I need to not tell people. They need to not know because they're going to deport everybody was the energy. And then you had a whole separate group that was like, well, how have you been in the U.S. this long and you're your status is not figured out all these years? So today we have an interview with Roosevelt and Winie, 2 young Haitians from South Florida that's been living on TPS and have actually agreed, to do this interview with us. Because I was surprised when you guys said yes. So thank you guys so much for being here. Roosevelt, Winie, say hello to the L'Union Suite, the Sweet Podcast family.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Oh, that's it?
Oh, no. What's going on, man? I'm Roosevelt. Mayor's here, man, and I'm here, man. Shout out to L'Union Suite for,
Are you saying you're going to kill you? You got to say it right.
L'Union Suite.
That ain't even it, Winie. That ain't it. It's L'Union. They going to get you together.
L'Union Suite, man. Shout out to the L'Union Suite for having me here today. I really appreciate it. God is good.
My name is Winie. I am 26.
Come through with the telling people your real age,
I know,
sis.
right? 26. I look 21. 26. Been in America for, I want to say, 20 years now? Wow. August is going to make 20 years. Been on TPS since 2010. And full-time student, FAU. Graduated in December. And I am a full-time medical assistant at a dermatology office.
So one of the first things, of course, before I even get into TPS, I'm going to give you guys some background information on it if this is your first time hearing the term or just don't know, is the fact that right out the gate, both of you are here, you're working, professional, you've been to school, right? Yeah, and different stories. Because normally when people hear TPS, they just think it's a bunch of people that came over or, left from the earthquake that's just here. Or you have the people that's like, y'all just here and you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And you guys have been in school. So you did, 20 years. So you did elementary,
middle, high school, now college.
Yeah,
working.
Yeah.
I've been here since middle school. Came here when I was 12. So I've been through middle school. I didn't come here for elementary school, but I came middle school and high school.
Yeah. And you went through college.
Oh yeah, I went through college for 1 year, but after that 1 year, costs got too high and everything like that. So I just resorted to looking for jobs and everything like that. So yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, we're going to get into the college and the
Yep.
school thing
Yeah.
because of what I've learned about people in TPS and you guys even being in school is not even as easy as, people may
Yeah.
think, and you are paying like out of state.
Out of state fees,
Yeah.
paying like 3 times the amount of
Yeah.
a regular student.
Definitely.
I think when I started BC, I was paying, I think the regular per credit is like $300 at BC. I was paying $1,000 per credit.
Wow, $1,000 per credit?
Yeah.
So you're talking about 3 credit hours. $3,000 for one class?
For one class.
Yeah,
Just
it
about.
was extremely
Yeah.
expensive, man. I just, I couldn't do it no more,
Yeah.
man. I didn't want to put that weight on my mom too. You know what I mean? So I quit school, and I found, luckily, like God always put people in my life that was just so great, so awesome, and I went by back door and went and got like a job at a law firm that took care of me and my finances for a very long time until I built my own business. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, so before we get any further, on the history, let me, give you guys some information on what TPS is and the status of it right now, especially for Haitians. So many immigrants who have time-limited permission to live and work in the United States under a program known as temporary protected status are facing an uncertain future as the White House seek to end their permission to stay in the country. Roughly 318,000 people currently have this protected status after fleeing their countries because of war, hurricane, earthquakes, or other extraordinary conditions that could make it dangerous for them to live in that country. Federal officials have said and been very clear that TPS is meant to provide temporary rather than long-term relief. There were about 100,000 unauthorized immigrants from Haiti in the U.S. in 2016, overall according to the center's estimate. U.S. government official estimated about 46,000 Haitian immigrants have TPS as of 2018. TPS benefits for Haitians have been set to expire July 22nd, with no plans for an extension. But the Department of Homeland Security extended the deadline to January 2nd, 2020, after being temporarily blocked by a federal court challenge. The TPS designation for Haiti was based on the January 2010 earthquake that killed hundreds of thousands of people. Immigrants are eligible if they entered the U.S. up to a year later, so many Haitian immigrants with protected status have been in the U.S. since as early as 2011. In 2017, the Haitian government asked for an 18-month extension leading up to July 22nd termination, citing catastrophic. Why did I stumble on that word? What's the word?
Catastrophic.
Including other hurricanes.
She been drinking, y'all.
Don't tell people that. Don't tell people that. You know those words that you just get to them, you just stuck? Mm-hmm. That was one of
it's
those
the
words.
alcohol.
No, so what I find interesting with that, and even with your stories, you're talking about 20 years, and a lot of people, and a lot of other people I know that have had it for years. And meanwhile, a lot of people think that it's only people that's from the 2010 earthquake that have had TPS.
No, there's people like from, I think, if I'm not mistaken, El Salvador, Ecuador.
Yeah.
I think Liberia.
Honduras.
Yeah.
I think they tried to cancel Honduras like last year too.
Yeah, so it's not just Haitians.
It's not just Haitians.
Yeah.
It's like
They just recently canceled. I think it was Honduras.
Honduras, because Haiti,
Honduras.
El Salvador, and Honduras, I believe, was on the same time.
So it's literally not just Haitians that's on TPS.
Exactly.
So you guys, so you've been here since middle school. You've been here, of course, younger. So you're here, you're in America, you're going to school, you're doing your thing. Of course, you guys don't really get or understand what your status is here, right? Yeah. So at what time or what age did it hit you like, wait a minute, I'm not like my friends, or I'm not...
I think for me it was because I came here 2000. I was 8 years old. My brother was 12. Went through elementary school, middle school. I have a cousin that's literally the same age as me. Grew up with my aunt. She treated us the same. We went through everything the same. Like was registered and we did sports and everything the same. It never hit me that I was any different from any of my cousins or anything like that up until I think, whatever year my brother graduated. My brother graduated top of his class from high school. Probably could have went to any college that he wanted to go to.
I remember
my
that
brother,
too.
Velt knows my brother. Like smart, top of his class, like everything. And it was time for him to go to school. I mean, go off to college. And he couldn't go off to college. And I had no idea why. And it wasn't until then, I think I was in the 9th grade, when I realized, oh, okay, so this isn't happening. This might not happen for me. Because I think at that time, when we get to 9th grade, everyone around us is like, oh, we're speaking about college, and everyone's talking about going to college and, HBCUs and all this, other stuff. And it's like, okay, well, this might not happen, like, for me. And it's like you're parting ways with your friends, and, like, there's a difference between your friends and you, and, like a whole secretive thing. And you can't tell people, oh, the reason why I'm not applying, or you can't tell your guidance counselor the reason why I'm not applying for scholarships or any of this stuff is because, I can't. I'm not a citizen.
I went through the same exact situation that you went through as well. Like my senior year, like when everybody was like graduating and, saying what schools they were going to and everything like that, it was just like, it was a real emotional moment for me because I didn't have a plan, you know what I mean? Because, I wasn't eligible to file for scholarships and things like that. So it was just like, what's next for me, you know what I mean? It was just like I said, it was a real emotional moment for me. Like I had no idea what I was going to do. I felt lost. I felt stuck. I was hurt.
But what does that conversation sound like with your parents?
Oh, man.
What's the explanation? How did it make sense for you?
Nah, my mom is just like, she was always like an extremely positive person. She would just always know that things are gonna get better. You know what I mean? Just always know like God is gonna find a way to make something happen for you. So just relax. But
from a status point, what do they say? Like, these things are gonna get better, but what does that mean? Like, how do I become a legal resident of this country? Is that conversation had? Do you guys ask that?
I ever had that conversation.
We never had that conversation. My mom told me she asked me if I wanted to come back to the Bahamas, and I was like, hell no. I already like lived my life here. I already have friends here, have family here. I don't want to go back. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do to just stick here and find a way, make something happen. So, wow. Yeah, it was tough, man. Real tough.
Wow. And Winie, for you, was the
conversation? I don't think we ever had that conversation because, again, my brother was going through it, and then once I hit, like it was the 9th grade when he graduated, and then I had 10th, 11th, 12th grade. So I had like 3 years to actually process it, and it's like, okay, whatever. Like my cousin's gonna go off to college, and I'm gonna stay home. And the good thing is, most of my friends were friends that actually stayed in Broward, and they stayed home. So it wasn't really like a huge thing.
You didn't feel the impact as much. Yeah.
The difference between me and probably Velt was that earthquake happened 2010. I graduated June. It happened in February 2010?
No, January
2010. I graduate June of 2010. So TPS, everything starts rolling in right after that. So I was able to take classes and start Broward College right into everything going on.
Yeah. So you went on TPS around that time. So
I started the same year TPS started. I was able to apply. So I didn't have like a year or two of not being able to go to school. But prior to
TPS, you're here. You don't even understand your status, and really there's no conversation.
No, it wasn't a thing. I just knew I wasn't going to college. I didn't think about the whole working, whatever. Just like, okay, well, we're just gonna figure it out when it happens, because that's the conversation in the house. It's like, when it happens, it happens.
So are you guys not asking these questions to your parents?
Even when we not, we tried to resolve certain things. We went to multiple immigration lawyers and everything, but it was just taking our money. Like they took at least $15 to $20K of my mom's money, just like selling us dreams and everything like that. And they'll legalize us and do this and do that, and it was just like selling us dreams, and it was just like real hurtful for me. I was thinking that these things were gonna go through for me, sit back, relax, things are gonna happen, but the whole time it was just taking money from us. Wow. You know what I mean? So
at this point, because when you mentioned it being secretive, do you guys know other people on TPS? Are you meet you? Yeah.
I think the year I graduated, I think I found out like 3 or 4 like 5 or 6 of the people I graduated with were illegal. And but you don't know when you're in high school. I don't think it's a thing that you know unless like you're really like into like you have to really be into everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Like it's not something you just say like, oh, I'm illegal. Like you just don't say that.
Yeah.
But you just go on. I don't think half my friends probably don't even know.
I had someone tell me that they didn't realize they didn't have a social security card.
Because Broward County gives you this student number that's the same 9-digit number that you think it's a social.
That was exactly what she said. She said, for years, I thought my student number was my social. So when she would be, when people would ask her, even when she was filling out college application, it said social security, she typed in her student number.
I didn't realize that until my brother graduated from high school. And that's when I found out that number is not a social. Like, you can't use that on anything. Wow. That's just a student number. Wow. That's all.
So, that's something I didn't even know. I remember thinking back when she said that, I was like, what was I given? Was my student number, I don't remember what my number was. So, I'm trying to figure out, was my student number the same as my social? Like, did you guys have student numbers? But I was using my social. Yeah. Like, I don't know my student numbers.
I don't know if everyone has...
But does everybody have student numbers, and the people that's illegal have? I mean, does everybody use their social? But if you're illegal, you have a student number.
I think it's just the student number. I think everyone has student numbers. No?
I never. Before when I couldn't go to school, I didn't have my social. So yeah, I used my student number.
Yeah,
probably not a conversation no one has. That's your social or your student number.
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah, I doubt it was a social though. I'm pretty sure that's kind of.
So TPS happens 2010. Now you guys have TPS. At this point, what? You're happy? You think this means what?
I mean, I'm happy, but I was also down because hundreds of thousands of people had to die for us to get this. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, why couldn't they give it to us before? You know what I mean? And it was just like, like the president that was here before, like Bush wasn't letting anything happen. Like Bush was like, no. But as soon as Obama came in, like, there was hope. There was a lot of hope. And, and when 2010 hit and this happened, like, it was like emotions, but at the same time, I was happy to finally be legal and be finally to work and just help out my family. You know what I mean? And it was ecstatic for me.
So on TPS, so student, the out-of-state fees change?
Yeah.
Like, are you able to go?
So the thing is, you're on TPS, you get on TPS, so you're able to get a license, so you can drive legally now.
So prior to that, no license.
Yeah, so you're able to get a license now. You get a work permit, so you're able to work.
I'm still driving though.
So you're able to work. You're able to. So you get your driver's license. You're able to do all this stuff, but with school now, you're still considered an out-of-state student. So they don't consider you, even though like you can prove that you've been here for so many years, you've gone to elementary, middle school, whatever it is, you're still considered and this was back in 2010. Now it's totally different depending on what school you're at, because at FAU right now I pay in-state fees. But you're still considered out of state, so you're paying literally $3,000 for one class. Like $1,000 per credit hour at the time. And if you're a regular person, like there's no way you're not eligible for scholarships. You can't get scholarships or financial aid because technically you're not legal.
Right.
So
and
you can't get government help.
Applies to citizens.
So you're paying out of pocket for all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So what does work look like now? Like, so before you couldn't work, really like legally on paper. Now you can work, but is there like they're aware that this thing is temporary? So there's a deadline to when like your contract at your job's over, or like are you turning something in? Are they watching you? How does that work?
Honestly, like I had a job at a law firm. It was a girlfriend that I was dating at the time. And she actually put me onto a law firm job. So I had already got to the point where I was just like, man, F school and everything like that because of my legal status and everything like that. And then when the 2010 hit, like I said, I was dating this girl at the time, and her mom was like the manager at the job. So they put me on and everything like that. So I just started making real good money and everything like that. So I would just consider that as a blessing to be able to get on TPS and start a job making $13-14 an hour right away. It was just it was a real awesome for me, and my mom was real ecstatic and real happy about that. And that's how it was for me. This a job.
For me, it was pretty much this kind of the same. The biggest thing for me is that I have a really, really huge supportive family. Like, my family is, when it comes to support, it's out of here. Like, I have a huge supportive family. My aunt, my uncle, like, I live with them, so I didn't have to pay any bills. I got a job at the mall, working at Banana Republic. So it wasn't, a big thing. I was taking 1 or 2 classes. For me, in my head, what I was processing is like, oh, all my friends are, in school. I can't go away for school because my cousin was at Bethune at the time. And it's like, okay, I can't be with her. But, my friend, I have my best friend that's at Broward College. So the idea was like, okay, go to school. Work a couple hours, get some money, and just go to school. So it wasn't really a huge thought process on future or whatever it was.
So you weren't planning. It wasn't let me start making plans.
Yeah, the planning part for me was, I was like, 17, 18. Yeah. So there was like no plans. Like, parents were still planning for me. Like, didn't look past that much.
And these was like real sad moments for me because like I played basketball, you know what I mean? So I couldn't, like, when I saw all my boys going off to school, getting accepted by schools to play ball here and there, I was just like, damn, like, it hit me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that was my dream at first. Basketball was my first dream, and just seeing that happen, it just hit me. I would just wake up just crying, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't do, like, things that they could, because they was legal here and I wasn't. So it was just real tough for me, man. I went through all emotions, everything.
And in these situations, like, of course, Haitian parents, we know how, you know how Haitian parents are. Like, to this day, I'm still trying to get an answer from my mom about, why it took us so long to speak Creole and what. And I can barely get an answer. Most of the time, her answer is, well, you speak Creole now, right? So
that's it.
That's it. Like, that's the furthest we're going into this conversation. So in these situations, like, there's a lot of people, of course, adults that's on TPS, like, a lot of people say and feel like, well, we shouldn't sympathize for you guys because you knew that this was temporary. Like, everyone's aware. The temporary is the first letter of, of this program. So, like, why is it now that you guys feel like, people should feel sorry for you, that you, all this time, like, the thing, all this time you had, why didn't you do something?
Well, I feel like they've been trying to do something. Like, TPS for us was probably like the first thing like we can actually get through. Like, there was the DREAM Act. Like, if you look at the DREAM Act, and
my little brother's on that.
Yeah, so before
what is the DREAM Act?
So the DREAM Act, it was something like, I want to say, and
childhood arrivals, deferred action. So, like,
there's deferred action, but then there was the DREAM Act. The DREAM Act, they was trying to pass it for kids that are like us, that came here illegally, but it wasn't our fault.
It wasn't on,
and they were just trying to get us papers and all this stuff. But then that didn't work out. That didn't get approved, and then there was deferred action. And deferred action, you can probably explain that better than I can.
I feel deferred action to me, like, what I read of deferred action and DREAM Act is kind of like the same thing. Yeah, okay. They're the same thing. So it's just like early childhood arrivals. If you was under like a certain age and you came here, you get that. You can get the DREAM Act. That's what my little brother.
But it was more. The DREAM Act was more of a permanent thing. Yeah. Deferred is not really a permanent. It's just, I think it's a
the word deferred.
And then you just reapply and then just hope, because I think right now, no one can apply for, like, they're not accepting your applications for deferred action, I don't think. If you're already on it, then if you're already on it, and that's what it is. But that's it with that.
Do you guys feel like you've once again, as Haitian kids, a lot of times we're left to do a lot of things on our own, even though your parents is doing their little thing, like, you're still trying to. Do you guys feel like you had the information you needed to do as much as you could for yourself, or you were just like completely confused as to what this was? And
nah, but you know what it is? My boy Stanley not here right now, but me and Stanley was just always in contact. Like, when it came to information, he always gave me the information I needed. Whatever I found on Google, I sent it to him. Whatever he found on Google, he sent it to me. So you just gotta find these. We found the information all by ourselves to make sure we was informed about everything that we needed to know for our TPS and our sake. So it was just, honestly, it was just like us just having that information to do what we need to do. Like, look for it. But nobody was helping us. We had to find it for ourselves.
So a lot of times when we post about TPS, one of the first things people say is, "Oh man, y'all better hurry up and go get your husband and get your wife," or they'll be like, "Oh, okay, well he's on TPS. If he's dating, he's trying to get papers. Like don't take nobody, on TPS." And people joke about things like that. And one of the
all the time.
Yeah, like trust me, I've had a friend that was like that was a big issue, in her relationship because the guy's family thought that's why she was around. Yeah, so that kind of caused an issue for, how comfortable she was in that relationship. And when we did the TPS forum last year, that was one of the main things the lawyers were very clear about. That is not going to work. So this whole idea if you're on TPS, you can go get married, and it's like you go file a bunch of papers, like it's not going to work. Yeah, so what other, like you feel like misconceptions do people have about people that's on TPS?
That you're just probably... I don't know, Americans have this thing that in their minds they think illegal people are coming here and taking their jobs.
Oh, man.
Like,
wow.
Honestly, actually, like, the job is there.
Yeah.
If you want it, go get it.
Exactly.
Like, there's nothing I can do to stop you from getting a job.
Right.
There's nothing I can do to stop you from getting anything. Like, if you really want it, like, go and get it. Just like I'm doing that. Like, they have this thing that's like, oh, you guys are going to come here and take all our jobs, do all this. Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously,
it's
no.
tons of jobs out here.
Yeah,
man, Yeah, I dealt
somebody
got to
do it.
Man. I dealt with all cause like I'm the type of dude, man. I like to get up and go get it, make things happen. So I always had, just the American kids just always envied me for some reason. Cause me coming here, my mom always instilled in my head that I gotta go harder than everybody that's here. You know what I mean? So failure's no option was always a thing for me. Like I had to go harder. I had to work harder than everybody else. So. Yeah, that's a misconception that everybody has of like illegal immigrants. Or you come in here, you gonna take the jobs, you gonna do this, you gonna drive a better car than me. We don't like y'all. Go back home.
But it's like you come here and you do all those things. I do drive a better car than you, but it's like it's not my fault. Like,
it ain't my fault, man.
I work a little harder than you. Like
man.
I kind of have to. Like I have all these eyes. I have all these things pointing like already against me. Like I kind of have no choice but to work this hard.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the marriage thing is another thing. But it's like if I wanted to get married for papers, I think I would have did it at 18, 19. As soon as I hit like legal age, let's get this done. Like, no, I've been here for 20 years. If I was going to do it, I was going to do it already.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, come on.
That's real.
So as far as information goes, and now that you guys are a bit older, there's social media, information's everywhere, TPS, legal status, administrative stuff is on the news every day. Do you think the government is even trying, or they're just making it harder right now to seek permanent residence in the U.S.?
It's going to happen.
You think it's going to happen?
It's definitely going to happen.
I don't want to say they're not trying because I'm pretty sure they are. But
I mean, listen, this thing got extended. You guys just got an additional 18 months or so.
There's no way you can, like, for people like us, like, I've been here 20 years. Yeah. Like, you're going to send me back to a country where, like, this is my country. Like, I've worked here. I've paid taxes. Middle, high school, elementary. Like, I don't know another home besides your country. And that's how you want to look at it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, where are you going to send me back to? Like, that's, to me, like, that's
to
crazy.
A place that I don't even know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? So,
like, for people like us, that's our age, like, I mean, we're trying to do, it's not, like, if we don't have, like, we're not felons, we don't have any, like, how does that make sense?
We own businesses here, you know what I mean? So it's just like, how can you send a person like that back? Yeah. I mean, someone that does so much for the community, like myself. I do a lot for the community. I'm active in the community.
Yeah, you're an entrepreneur. Yeah, let's talk about some of the stuff that you do.
Yeah, I pretty much, I'm a director, I'm a writer, I'm a screenwriter, I'm an event host. I throw events for the community. I showcase a lot of artists, musicians, poets, and everything like that. And I also showcase filmmakers and things like that. I shoot a lot of big music videos for some of the big entertainers in the industry, such as Tory Lanez, Nick Cannon, Birdman, NBA YoungBoy, and so much more.
So you working?
Yeah,
working.
24/7, man. Like I work like you ask my girl, man. I don't sleep, man. I work 24/7, and it's just like it's just a passion, man. Like I said, my brand is called FNO. Failure's no option. Failure's never been an option for me since I landed foot in America, and I just was always taught to just be better than everybody else. You know what I mean? And I could remember a story from middle school. When I came here, everybody was just cracking on my accent and everything like that. And and they put me in Esau class.
Oh yeah,
and then
they did the
I think
same
that's all
thing
of
to
us, 'cause I was
me.
in
And
Esau
then
too.
from Esau, like the layout that Lauderhill Middle School had set up was Explorers A to Explorers E. So Explorers A being the dumbest class to Explorers E being the smartest.
Intermediate.
I went from
Let's
A-
use intermediate.
I went from A to E in a month.
Wow.
Because the teachers was like, you don't belong in A. I went to B. Teachers like, you don't belong in B. It, like, just being in these classes, I always hear my mom's voice in my head,
Yeah.
like, you got to work hard. You
Yeah.
got to work hard. You're here for a reason. I brought you here for a reason. You got to work hard. I don't want you slacking. Work. So I went from A to E in a month to the smartest class. And then from there, I was just like, this is where I need to be. And this is what I need to be doing. And I just got to be better than everybody else that's around me. So, yeah.
When you said before you didn't have a plan, like you were just going to class and doing. So now, have you, because, you know, it's being extended and TPS is kind of working a little to y'all benefit now. Are you operating on a plan, or you just kind of waiting to see what happens?
I feel like that's how I was before with, you know, you're just waiting because the thing, these Haitian parents, what they tell you is like, oh, don't worry, you know, God's going to do something. Oh, pote, what do they say? Pote quoi nan bon Dieu. Like, oh, God's going to, we'll just pray. Like, we're just going to pray. No action, but we're just going to pray. And it's like, no offense, but it's like, how much are we going to pray and we're not going to look into anything? We're not going to do anything. Like, we have to, like, something has to be done. I feel like up until last year when you did the
forum.
Yeah, the forum. And it was just like, to me, working and probably just going to school was just a thing. Again, just because everyone around me, like everyone in my family has gone to school and graduate, and like it's just a thing to do. Like, oh, you go to school, you graduate, you get your degree, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So like up until last year, my whole thing was like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do. But now I just feel like I can't just sit here and wait on that, and I can't just like. The goal is to just to make as much money as I can, save as much money as I can, get my degrees, and if I do have to leave, at least I'm leaving with my bachelor's. I have my degrees. I have all these things under me. Or like Velt has businesses. At least you have these things, and you can just say, okay, this is what we're doing. Yeah. You know, like you're not just sitting here, you know, just waiting on these people to do something for you. Like you're trying to get it yourself.
You're right. You know what I'm saying? This is what we doing, but you know, you also gotta have like hope, and also you just gotta know that things are gonna happen because you've been here for so long, been working hard and everything like that. Just know God ain't just gonna let you know things go down like
my
that.
whole thing is
But
like
outside of religion,
Yeah.
like, are you guys paying attention to policies? Are you being
definitely,
part
every
of,
day.
you know, the activism of it all? Like, there's, you know, Miami does protests all the time. There's bus
always-
rides all the way to D.C. You know, it's like, it's a lot of those things too that happen, and they want support. Because I remember last when this first hit, everyone was messaging me saying, you know, can you get, you know, this and this done? And the whole reason I decided to do the forum was no one wanted, you know, to be vocal or honest about them. People were afraid, which I understood. So I was like, well, how can I provide information to people without them having to like go sit in an attorney's office and everything else? And I did the live stream forum. And that's another thing. A lot of people are afraid. They want change, but they're afraid to go stand out there. And, you know, but then you have the people, you know, like, you know, the citizens that are sitting around like, this is not my problem.
Right.
Or they don't really understand it. So they're like, what are we, like, you guys knew, so what are we fighting for? We have bigger issues, right? So it's like it's a little bit of the people that's on it are kind of afraid to move and shake because they're worried that sometimes this stuff is galvanizing people to grab everyone at the same time and deport them. And then the people that don't really get it, we're all like, this is not my problem. So
I just feel like you can't really, I feel like a lot of us are just like living in this whole fear of, oh, you know, they're gonna deport us. And like, in my mind, I don't believe that can just actually happen. Like, they're just not gonna, like, you can't live in fear that they're just gonna deport you. Like, a lot has to happen before they can actually just come and take you and deport you. Like, we can speak up. There's a lot you can actually do before that happens. And my whole thing is like I just don't want to live in fear anymore. Like I'm just over that. Like I'm not doing that anymore. Like to me it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
man, shout out to my lawyer, man, Matthias. You know what I'm saying? He gives me a lot of information. I don't know if you know Matthias Honor. He's one of the
Haitian?
biggest. Yeah, one of the biggest. You know, he's helped me a lot throughout the years. Yeah, he's helped me a lot. Actually, Stanley put me on to him because the dude that I was going to before was just stealing all my money.
I heard a lot of that too.
Oh,
I heard a lot of that.
Oh, and that's another thing. You can fill out your forms yourself.
Yeah. What are some tips and stuff that you guys have or know that can help some of these other people that probably just don't know some of this stuff? You can either do on your own or where you can find information to where if they're not even at the where you guys are right now.
Nah, I mean, I tell people all the time, like, if you want to go find all the information that you need, just go to Google, type in Haiti, TPS, go to news. It'll update you on everything that you need to know
Literally
about
all
TPS.
the information you need is on the internet. Like, don't pay these people $600 to fill out forms for you. You can do, if you know how to write your first and last name on a form,
right?
You can fill out your own.
So these forms are they're not complicated.
They're not complicated. The past,
I
feel like when we first started, of course,
we
my
all
aunt didn't know much.
Fees.
We all paid the fees. And it wasn't until a year, like when my brother was like, okay, he's not doing this no more. Like my brother went to a profit place and they filled out the forms for him and he saw how they did it. And he was like, wait, this is ridiculous. And the following year, we literally filled out all our forms, went over it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Switched papers, made sure everything was right, turned it in, and it was fine. Like, you don't have to pay these people money to fill these forms out for you. It's simple, it's easy, especially for TPS. It's easy. Just follow the directions. That's it.
Right.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Like I thought all that stuff had to go to attorneys. You have an immigration attorney.
At first it did when we didn't really have
when
the
you don't
proper
know,
knowledge.
Of course you're doing that.
But what do you need an immigration attorney for right now if you guys are just kind of limbo?
Honestly, right now just for like information.
That's it.
Information. Every time I talk to my lawyer Matthias, I go to him. We have a talk about like the next step, like the future. He always gives me like good notes and just give me like good messages and just give me like good hope and this is happening, this is gonna happen, and everything that he says is gonna happen, it happens. You know what I mean? So just good news all the time. He rarely ever gives me bad news. Yeah.
So if there's someone listening right now that's on TPS, that's afraid to even tell their friends or other people they're on TPS, they kind of don't have the fees for attorney, they're kind of stuck in this, I don't know what to do, same thing my parents just telling me to pray. What is your advice to them?
If you're afraid to tell people, like, I just feel like there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, you're
here,
you've been here, like, you're just like a regular person. Right. There's nothing you're doing wrong. Like, if you need like I said, fill out your forms. It's online. The directions are there.
Right.
Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, you're a regular person. Like, I feel like I used to do the same thing. Like I said, up until maybe 2-3 years ago, half of my friends didn't know that I was, like, most of my friends literally thought, like, oh, I just didn't want to go to college. I just wanted to stay home and do all this stuff. Like, I didn't want to work. It was like, no, like, I'm illegal. Like, I don't have papers. And it's like, oh, what does that mean? You go into explaining to them, and they're like, oh, wow. Or you have the ones that when you do tell them, they're just like, oh, wow, my dad is the same thing. Or, you get more information. Right. And that's how you, like, find, or, like, I have a coworker that her father is an immigration lawyer. Like, she found out about me. She was like, are you serious? My dad's an immigration lawyer, and, maybe he can help you. Just, like, tell your story. Let people know. Like, I'm not saying just, just go and screaming it out, but, like, let people know, because you don't know who can help you. Like,
exactly, because the more you hide it, man, the more, like, you're in risk of not seeking and not finding the information that you need,
What about that fear of they're just gonna come knock on your door? I've heard a bunch of people tell me, "Oh, ya brale muna bis, ya pon muna bis."
Like, it's like 1992. It's like 2019. No one's gonna come to your house and, like, unless you just rob the bank. Like, relax. That's not happening. I don't think that's happening.
I'm like, yeah, sure about that, because I've had a few.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
They're pulling up in front of people's
houses.
Like,
what are you, robbing people? Like, I feel if you're doing what you need to do, like, you're doing, like, if you're not bothering anyone. Like, they have this thing called, like, sanctuary cities or whatever. I think Broward County, Miami, these are, like, sanctuary cities. Like, no one's going to come unless unless you're bothering people or you're doing these crazy things.
Trouble, doing
like no one's
things,
gonna come knock at your door and just try to snatch you up. ICE is not gonna they don't bother you.
You
like
get caught up by the cops for doing something illegal. You know what I mean?
Knock on wood.
You know they gonna put you on an immigration hold, and that's it. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I just feel like everyone
you shaking
here,
the table and causing attention to yourself.
Yeah.
Then.
And I feel like everyone here that's that's on TPS or just illegal period, and you just out here trying to find a way, trying to make a way for your family and everything like that, just doing positive things for the people, for the community, for everybody around you. I just feel like we should be sacred. We shouldn't be touched. You know what I mean? I just feel like we should get that respect that everybody else does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your stories.
For sure.
Thank you for giving us more information on, basically an inside look of what it's like, for you guys growing up on TPS and trying to dispel some of this misconception and things that people think they know. So I appreciate you guys.
Right.
Any last things? Like I know Entrepreneur Roosevelt, let people know how to find you. How do they support your projects? You just told me you have a comedy show and I got to go make sure I show up.
Oh, yeah, man. Show up, man. It's a great time, man. I have FNO Comedy and Soul Nights. I have it twice a month. At the beginning of the month and at the end of the month, every month.
Yeah.
And I also have film showcases that I throw every 2 months and everything like that. And I'm always out working, directing videos, writing, producing, just always be 24/7. You guys can find me on Instagram, my business page, FNO Productions, LLC, and my personal page, Failure's No Option _, and my event page, FNO Event Culture. So that's where you can find everything that you need to know about FNO and Failure's No Option.
I don't have a long report like that, but what I can say is just that, to all the people that's like us or the kids that are in high school, we understand, we get it. One advice I can give you guys is there's so much information out there, especially the internet. If you need information, tell your guidance counselors. Back when we were in school, I don't think there was information. There were things to help people out. I'm pretty sure you tell your guidance counselors. There's forms you can fill out now. There's waivers if you need a waiver for your TPS. If you don't have the money to pay for it, there's waivers you can fill out just to get help.
Then it was tough.
Yeah,
man.
You didn't have all that.
We was at a point where we didn't even want to say anything about it. We didn't even want to tell people we was illegal at that time.
Let people know. You never know who can help you. If you're in college and you're paying those out-of-state fees, I know there's a law because trust me, I was paying those out-of-state fees and I'm not paying them. I'm still paying out of pocket because there's no scholarships. We're gonna get Wanda to get on that soon. Right. There's no scholarships for people on TPS, but there's a form you can fill out to get exempted to get back to in-state, especially if you've been here since elementary school. Yeah. You don't have to pay out-of-state fees. Listen, don't listen to these people. Do your research. You
got to be active. Yeah. You got to be vocal.
You have to do your research. If they say no, there's somebody that's going to say yes. Do your research. Exactly. There's always somebody that's going to say yes.
And on that note, guys, our time is up. Like Winie and Roosevelt said, do your research.
Exactly.
Thank you guys once again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, comment. Until our next episode, make sure you tune in and subscribe to all of our different channels. Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud.
Man, shout out to Wanda, man. We really appreciate you having us on the show.
Oh,
man.
Thank you for being open and honest and saying yes. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, whoa, they said yes.
Of course, man.
So I appreciate y'all.
Of course. People really just gotta
need
know
this information.
That that there's just successful, people.
There's other people out here like you.
Entrepreneurs out here that that's going through the motions and everything like that. But just don't feel hopeless. Just always know that things are gonna happen, and just seek information and just go look for it and find it.